Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode summary / cast list discussion video. So earlier today, the episode 91 cast list came out, and before we get into it, I do want to do a quick plug for my friend Frankie. I was just on his podcast called The Fraud Pod with Nick T, who you guys probably know. He's been on the channel quite a bit. Here is a little preview of the podcast.
We were doing a podcast and he was like, oh yeah, you know Dylan the Prado, right? I'm like, yeah, of course. We used to play poker. He's like, oh, did you see his YouTube channel? I'm like, no, like what's it about? He's like, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, let me see it. And I'm like, he has 50,000 fucking subscribers, dude.
Crazy.
So that's awesome. Like, but I guess when you're in like that niche too, like it does that. Do you think that propels?
Yeah, 100%. So here was the thing. I watched the shows, and the way I got into it is one of the shows I always watch like the English dub, because for, you know, I don't really watch anime. This is like the only show that I watch. There's some other animes that I get into, but I don't really watch too much of like TV and stuff. So one of the shows, after season 3 ended, the English dub stopped because of like a lawsuit with like the company over in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of complications there. And so the only way to watch the last 20 episodes was watching it in Japanese with English subtitles. So I was like, well, I want to know how the show ends, so I guess I gotta watch it in Japanese, which was complete foreign territory to me. So I watched it with subs, and which is just, you know, English subtitles on the bottom, and I absolutely loved it. Thought the voice acting was like incredible, so intense. The musical score was amazing.
So yeah, I will have it linked down below. Definitely show him some support. He puts out videos and really podcasts on SoundCloud like once or twice a week. He's fantastic, an awesome guy. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. Talked about obviously the creation of my channel and a lot of off-topic things like movies and non-Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So if you have an hour and a half to kill and to burn, definitely, you know, play it on a car ride or something, but I will link it down below. So thank you to Frankie for having me on. And before we get into this, I do want to warn you guys that there will be some spoilers ahead. So if you do not want any spoilers, now is your chance to click off the video. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So let's begin with episode 91's cast as brought to us by DMC. And there is a big, you know, in this duel, we obviously know this is Blue Maiden versus Bowman. Actually, before I get into the speculation, which I can go on for, 20 minutes on, let's just get into it. Episode 91, The Proud Maiden. Bowman has grown even stronger through his various battles. Using his evolved Hydro Drive monsters, he drives Blue Maiden into a corner. However, Blue Maiden's conviction remains unbroken. She refuses to give up and keeps on fighting. What kind of tactic will she use? And the cast list is kind of interesting because there is a very big absence. It's Yusaku / Playmaker, Ai, Homura, Aoi, Aqua, Emma, Akira, Bowman, extras. There's 2 interesting names that are not popping up on this cast list, which is very surprising considering you would think they would react to the end of this episode, especially Lightning. Lightning is obviously the first name that is notably not on this cast list. And another notable name, the guy who does the previews, which, by the way, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the previews if something happens to him, is Kusanagi. Now, we know in episode 92 it will be Kusanagi dueling, being forced to duel because of Lightning against Playmaker. I guess that means that this duel has a chance of going into 92, because I'm surprised if Bowman loses or if Bowman wins, that Lightning would not be saying anything in regards to the result. Right, that Lightning wouldn't be saying, oh wow, I'm in trouble, I'm alone now, or that he wouldn't be congratulating Bowman on the win or saying nice job or 1 down or, just a smug comment like that. So I'm very surprised that Lightning is not speaking. I'm also surprised that Kusanagi is not speaking, because I thought in this episode we might even start seeing Lightning making his move towards Kusanagi, towards getting Kusanagi to dueling Playmaker. Either that's going to happen in tomorrow's episode, in episode 90, or it's all going to happen in episode 92, which there would be a lot going on in 92 if that's the case. So we're going to have to wait and see, but this is going to be a very duel-focused episode. And there are a few cues that we can look at in this summary, and I'm going to tell you why I actually think that Aoi Zaizen has a very, I don't want to say very strong chance, has a strong chance to win. I've been trying to justify it for since this duel got announced, of why I think she can win, because in my heart of hearts, I want her to win so badly. I mean, I love this I really do like her character a lot, and I think she's a few big wins away from being at Aki level, and maybe or inarguably one of the best girls we've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! I really think she has that potential, and I just want her to keep progressing. And I think her being teamed with Ignis, being teamed with Aqua was great. I thought her evolution from Blue Girl to Blue Maiden, while it was maybe on the quick side, I thought the symbolism was great. I think when you look at the parallels between her and Go, two characters that have pretty much taken similar paths, entertainment duelists, fought along Playmaker in the Tower of Hanoi, but handled the situations with an extremely different outlook. And it's rewarded one in the sense that here's Blue Maiden now fighting for the sake of the world, and it didn't reward one because now he's gone and dead and he's completely basically just sold his soul. So I love the parallel between those two characters, and I really just would love for her to win. Now, both of these characters, you could say, could use a win. You could argue for both of these characters pretty well, but there's cues in this summary that make me think she has a solid chance to win. Here's the first one. Drives Blue Maiden into a corner. Whenever a character gets driven into a corner, how many times have we read he drives or she drives Playmaker into a corner? We've read that so many times, and as we know, Playmaker has never lost. I'm sure there has been a case where someone has been driven into a corner in the summary and ended up losing, but it does not happen often. Usually whatever character is being driven into a corner in the summary ends up winning. So that's the first part. The second part is I want to look at Blue Maiden's past two duels. The loss against, not including Haru, the loss against Soulburner, and the loss against Spectre. So the loss in 56 and the loss in 33, which were her two last duels until she dueled Haru and beat him. So let's read the episode 56 summary. Again, Soulburner ended up winning. And I'm just going to kind of skip towards the end. Actually, the very last line. However, Blue Girl then proceeds to drive Soulburner into a corner with her new tactics. Who ended up winning that? Blue Girl had the advantage on Soulburner, very similarly to how Bowman is going to have the advantage on Blue Girl, driving them into a corner. As we know, Soulburner won. Now, let's more interestingly go to episode 33, which I think says a lot about how this duel might play out. Episode 33, Blue Angel launches a series of attacks against Spectre, but her attacks didn't work since Spectre is protected by his son Avalon. Blue Angel then uses her deadly combo. However, a sinister smile dashes across Spectre's face. Now let's jump back to episode 91. However, Blue Maiden's conviction remains unbroken, very similarly to how Spectre was the however in the final line. She refuses to give up and keeps on fighting. What kind of tactic will she use? Let's take a look at the episode 89 cast list, the duel that Soulburner just won over Windy. However, the flame in his heart is still burning bright. He becomes enraged after learning why Windy attacked his own partner. Soulburner and Flame then do something unexpected. However, Blue Maiden's conviction remains unbroken. She refuses to give up. What kind of tactic will she use? You guys see the parallels here, right? I'm not the only one seeing the parallels and the patterns in these summaries. I'm starting to be convinced in my brain, and not just my heart, that Blue Maiden, based on these summaries, has a very real chance of winning. And if she does win, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it would be one of the biggest wins for any girl character in Yu-Gi-Oh! To ever have. In fact, I was trying to think about the latest time in a show that a girl character won a one-on-one duel, and I think this would be the latest in a show that has ever happened. Fact check me on that because I'm not 100% sure, and I'll do more research if Blue Maiden does end up winning this duel. But with less than probably 60 episodes left, has there ever been a case where a girl character has won a 1v1 duel? I don't think it's happened. Because usually with Yu-Gi-Oh, when you get down to the last 50, 60, 70 episodes, everything is intense. And we know how girl characters usually, unfortunately, get written and treated. And so that's why this would be such a groundbreaking win for her if she can get it. Now, let me go on the flip side of this, because Bowman is a character that I would also argue desperately needs a win, which is why no matter what result happens, one character is going to be kind of in trouble, and the other one is going to look really, really good. I still believe that Bowman doesn't necessarily need... I actually could make the case that it's not a make-or-break duel for either of these characters. I know people would disagree with me on that. I know people would say, oh, if Bowman loses to Blue Maiden and Aqua and already lost twice to Playmaker, and he drew against Playmaker in the last duel, then what was the point of even building him up? Bowman is supposed to be a vessel for 6 Ignis. He's not supposed to be this standalone, amazing duelist, amazing character. All he is a tool for Lightning to become a divine human. Now, if Bowman becomes this divine being and then loses a duel, then I'd say, yeah, the build-up was a bit of a letdown there, right? He finally achieved his final form, and he still lost. But right now, if Bowman loses again and something happens to him, you'll say, well, he never became what he was supposed to become. He was supposed to become this divine being, and Blue Maiden prevented it from happening. Playmaker prevented it from happening. So I don't think his character would necessarily be a bust, although, you know, you would have liked to maybe see him get one win. On the case of Blue Maiden, if she loses, she beat Haru, but I still think there would be time for her and Aqua to do things after this arc ends, which, by the way, we did get confirmation on Ending 5. I did a video on it. If you want to head to my channel, that video will be the most recent video besides this one. Something else I want to point out regarding the ending changing in April, a lot of people, almost all of the comments were very panicked people, which is understandable, saying, oh my god, are we really going to have to listen to Go Forward for another 6 months to a year? Like, why isn't the opening changing? Where's the news on the opening? I will say it is strange that they announced the ending changing before the opening. The precedent is usually they'll announce the opening and then the ending. The ending information came in V-Jump, which, if you don't know, V-Jump is a magazine that comes out once every month. Usually in the middle of the month is when we get leaks for it. I think it formally comes out like the 20th. So usually the 17th, 18th is when we get leaks for it. February of 2018, Go Forward was announced. The second opening. The third ending, which was Boy, right? Boy by Uchu, that was not announced until March of 2018. So it wasn't announced the ending was changing until the very next month in V-Jump. So until V-Jump for March comes out, which we'll get leaks like March 17th, March 18th, until that comes out, I wouldn't worry about the opening changing. I still believe the opening is going to change in April, but it is weird and maybe a little concerning that we don't have any evidence pointing to that as of now. But if we get V-Jump in March and there's no information on the opening changing for VRains, then we most likely will have Go Forward for another 26 episodes, another 6-7 months, which I like the song, but I don't want any. I don't like. We're so used to, as Yu-Gi-Oh fans, openings changing every 6 months, so it would be a shame if that opening lasted a year and a half. Especially because they haven't even updated. Like a lot of people pointed out, they haven't even changed Blue Girl to Blue Maiden in that opening. Like that opening is outdated every time we see it, just from her perspective. So they need a new opening. And hopefully we will get one in April, and it will be revealed in the March V-Jump or maybe earlier. So just wanted to touch on that really quickly. But guys, let me know all your thoughts in regards to episode 91, The Proud Maiden. Everything, even from the title, points to a Blue Maiden win, which would be a major win for her character. But we're going to have to wait and see, and I'm very hesitant to go all in with her winning, just given the track record of girl characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! But thank you all for watching. Cannot wait to talk to you all about this episode. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, Omni Lord, and Neko Yuu-Chan, and to my Diamond tier patrons Bouldergeist and Jesse Wood, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons Syn Cloud and Chris Swan. A special thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it and how much it just helps me out and the channel out. And a thank you to you guys for just watching my videos, because without you guys, I would not be able to do this. The Zexal Top 10 Duels, I promise it's coming out very soon. It will be out most likely tomorrow. I know I said it would come out today, but I got sidetracked with some things. I'm done with the script, so it's almost guaranteed to come out tomorrow along with my episode 90 review. Excited to talk to you guys about all of that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day.